all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are listening to this. Welcome back to the Unpopular Black Gaming Channel, where we are recapping Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 6. This episode, loved it.
Contain yourself. You're on the internet.
Okay.
Your
Yeah.
employers can
Thank
hear
you.
this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. As always, my boy Patrick is joining me for this interview. Patrick, say hello.
Hello, everybody. You're one moan away from this needing to be on OnlyFans. So gotta be careful.
This is Star Trek After Dark.
Star Trek After Dark, definitely.
But like this episode gave me Ad Astra Persperia vibe. So not necessarily because it for those that haven't watched the episode, well, number one, why are you listening to this? Watch the freaking episode. But
Yep.
not the fact that it being another court episode, which it is not. But I'm saying to the point of like how great it is, how it was directed well, written well, um, acted well. Like we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it.
Totally agree.
But I
To the point
purpose.
for
Go ahead.
I was gonna say for a little bit behind the scenes for the unpopular explorers, it was to the point where I was like, no one had put the recap up on Memory Alpha, and the Wikipedia just didn't do it justice. And I was like, we gotta write our own
Yeah,
recap, or we're gonna shortchange
we couldn't halfway
this great
do this.
episode.
We couldn't halfway
Yeah.
do this. We had to give it justice, just like they gave it to us. So, and I purposely didn't say the title because I wanted to point out that when I, like I normally do, before I go into the episode, pull up my notes, type up, episode, whatever, and then put the title from what it shows on Paramount Plus. And I looked at the title and I said, "What the hell is that word?"
Yeah, Spock really did you a solid. When he said
Spock,
it, I was like, I'm glad he said that.
Spock did me a full solid. I was like, I'm quite positive someone is going to say the title of the episode within the episode. And I didn't get that until what, like 3/4 of the way in when he finally
Yeah,
said it. I was like, oh, thank you, Spot.
because
The Shellot. I'm still destroying it. The
I think
Selot
it's just
who ate
Salat.
Salat who ate its
Yeah,
tail. The
yeah.
Salat, yeah, the Salat who ate its tail.
Which I assume, you know what? I didn't have enough time to look it up. I don't know if we've seen a Salat in any Star Trek canon or or Beta or Kirk or Kelvin timeline
Not that I can
content. So,
remember.
yeah, while
Uh,
you're talking, I'll Google it and see if there's a. I mean, I know we're not visual, but I wonder what it looks like. If it's like a cat or something. He said it was a quadruped.
oh, it's the I think they
Oh, it's
showed
that
this
thing.
on Discovery.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, so it's like some little cat slash
Oh no, this.
walrus looking thing.
Yeah, it looks like it's huge.
It
And
does.
of course, it was in the animated series.
Ah, okay. So we have seen this.
Yes, we've seen one of these live. I wish I remember which episode. I think it's the one where they're on Trill or something. No, they're on Vulcan.
Yeah, I
We
don't
don't
think.
need to figure this out.
Yeah, I don't think the on trail was like. I think they were more close to like some type of spider monsters, if I remember correctly. Uh,
Oh, right.
but yeah, this was a Vulcan. This is specifically a Vulcan animal.
It looks adorable if I didn't think it would rip
Maul
me
you
into several
and
pieces. Yeah.
no matter how great the the socialized medicine is in this universe.
Right.
I don't think you will make it. If I'm
Mm-mm. I'll admire it from a distance and behind like a guarded barrier or something.
so, we are gonna get into this episode because whew, we got a lot jam packed into what this 48 minute some odd episode.
It was so good. Oh man. Oh, I forgot to add one thing
Hmm.
to start us off. I'm gonna add it now, but you didn't read this part. That recap was ominous.
It was, it was, and normally I don't watch the recaps, but this time I was just like, no, no, I'm gonna watch this because I'm curious because they would normally add like certain previous episodes that are pertinent for this upcoming episode. So it was very ominous. Um,
Yeah, it it was so ominous that I didn't really know exactly what to expect because last
yeah,
week's episode was, quite frankly, a bummer. Right?
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
It was
yeah,
exciting, it was thrilling, it was
yeah.
Star Trek, but it was also a bummer. So I was like, dang, like who else is about to get it? Right? Like, so yeah, that recap
R
was ominous.
R.I.P. Nurse Gamble. R.I.P.
Maybe.
Or no, no, no. You're holding on to hope that
Yep.
he is comic book deceased.
Yes.
You are holding on to that hope. I'm saying he's gone. Like it's a done deal. He's gone. They specifically made his character for this particular impact. It,
Well,
we'll find out in the future.
I'm
Uh,
about to say, Unpopular Explorers, pick a side on the chat. You can be Team Comic Book Unalive or Team Gone Gone.
I'm still. I'm. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
Okay, and the episode after the recap opens on the Farragut, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
Kirk is talking about how bored he is, and um, Captain Varel apparently is more risk averse than him, and we come dangerously close to getting a "risk is our business" speech, which you know is one of my most favorite speeches
Yes.
in all of
Yeah.
Star Trek. So I was getting kind of pumped up for that. Kirk starts to advocate to send a landing party down, and the planet blows up.
I was like, well, that escalated quickly.
He
It,
says it later in the episode. There's no like real scientific way to say it. It
all
blew
hell
up. No, I
broke
don't know what to
loose.
say. All hell broke loose, indeed.
I was like, well, okay, so this is gonna be that type of an episode. And I was like, as soon as the planet, I guess, exploded, I think that's what exploded from what I could tell.
Hmm.
Uh, and that blast was coming their way. I was just like, oh, let me guess. The explosion's gonna hit the Farragut real hard. The captain is gonna get hurt some way, either hurt,
Or
get knocked
Mert.
out unconscious. Why did I say that like that? Unconscious.
I don't know.
She was either going to be hurt, unconscious, or yeah, just completely offed. Just,
Yeah.
and I was leaning more towards she's just going to be offed, and then like later we learned that she bumped her head pretty bad, pretty much got a concussion.
Which works thematically with what happens in the rest of the episode because we learn he's not quite ready to be captain. So
Yes.
like she needs to be able to come back because he's got more work to do to become the Kirk we see in TOS. This is like his first step
Hmm.
down that road. Which, quick question: did you find that interesting? Because we did a whole first officers episode, and they're supposed to be basically co-captain and ready to go, but there is like some development there. So I was actually confused a little bit at first at like, oh, Kirk's not really ready
Well,
for this moment. I thought he'd be a little bit more ready, but
well,
it ends up working out great. But yeah,
they've always touched on this, and I believe that Star Trek: The Next Generation probably did it the best when showing like how Will Riker was in the beginning, and then over time when you got to the best best of both worlds episodes, uh, you like Captain Picard points out to Riker of how gung ho Shelley is, and
yeah, Shelby.
Shelby. I don't know why I said Shelly. Shelby, like, and he was like, "Was I really like that?" So by that time,
That's a really good point.
Riker was tempered enough by Picard to yeah. There's points and times for us to do like this cowboy type thing, but like you kind of have to like temper that side of you to make the proper choice because your choice can end up killing a lot of people, um, unaliving a lot of people. Um, I hate the fact that I can't talk like a grown up.
I know, right? We might just choose to do it one day. Like, I don't know when you're going to monetize these. It's getting frustrating.
But
Especially, we're going to have another moment like that later on,
yeah,
where we're going to be dancing around the YouTube rules.
well, it's
But
so.
you make a really good.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
No, no, no.
I was going to say, you make a really good point because I just pulled what Riker did in that episode. I'm remembering Riker and like the other first officers as like the best, almost most complete version of themselves. And I'm
Yeah.
forgetting, like, yeah, Riker went on an arc where he was too brash and too risky. And I'm just glad that there's no one really in my professional spheres to remind me of what I was like when I was in my 20s. Well, I guess you're not in your 20s as a first officer, but you get what I'm saying.
I guess they're kind of like it. Of course, it depends on the officer and what he or she has done, like in the past or whatnot. But like, it's kind of like from human standards, you're in your early 30s by that time.
Yeah.
Some I would probably say
It
Kirk
might
was
be a little
probably
bit later.
late 20s.
It
I
might be a little bit later because I don't think you get. I think getting to captain by the time you're 40 is considered fast in Star Trek terms.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to really like look into that more because the way that I think about it is just like, heck, I've been past my 20s. I've been past my 30s. So like I remember the type of young man I was in my 20s, and then by the time I got to my 30s, like how much tempered I was just over those past few years. Even looking at how I was when I had to either take over a business from when I worked in retail or when I became a manager at for a banking center. So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there's a huge difference for me in my 20s to my 30s is what I'm saying.
yeah. And you know what? It just dawned on me as you were saying that Kirk also mentions that he's rushing it on purpose. He wants to be
Yes.
the youngest. So he's even more a bit behind the
Yes.
like kind of maturity judgment curve because he is also a lot younger than you should be by the time you get to be first officer. So all this is kind of falling into place. I love the episode regardless, but it's making even more sense now, which is what great episodes do. When you think about it more, it clicks better.
The main thing that I was curious about though is and we're probably gonna have to pay attention to this when we do the rewatch of the original series was if Kirk ever talked about his older captain from the Farragut because I didn't realize
I
that she
wondered
was
that
local.
too. I thought I wondered that as well if you mentioned it, and I thought it was interesting that he was first officer to a Vulcan and then had a
And
Vulcan
then
as
had
the
a
first
Vulcan
officer.
first officer. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like so clearly this Kirk Varel relationship picks up. I mean, he got a taste of like what Spock would be like as a first officer in this episode, but I doubt that's the only like forming thing that he was like, oh yeah, Spock's gonna be my first officer when I get there. I bet he and Varel's relationship gets better after this
So
because he's kind of like dog walking her in his personal log.
yeah, and I look at it like this: when I took over my very first banking center, and the my choice for a assistant manager, aka first officer, I could either I was had the choice between someone who was just like me as far as way of thinking and uh, how I would react in certain situations, or I had the choice of somebody who was more opposite of me, would think differently from the way that I think, and see certain blind spots that I may have. And
Mm-hmm.
I went towards that person because I knew in order to have the type of uh, crew that I wanted, I needed a strong base for the assistant manager. And that assistant manager, I needed him or her to be able to tell me when I'm not looking at something uh, in the right light or I'm missing something because I have a blind spot there. And I gave her, when I hired her, I gave her that freedom to be able to tell me when she thinks that I'm not doing something the right way. Like so I gave her that freedom to speak up in those situations.
Yeah, and you should definitely hold on to that thought because I think I'm going to say something later that will add on to that. I'm trying to help us not have the same
Yeah,
conversation twice.
I got you.
This is Unpopular Explorers, as you well know, the type of episode we would just talk for like 5 hours and not
Oh
even realize
yeah.
it.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I do have two extra notes if you want to
Okay.
hear them
Yeah.
on my personal notes here. Not the first time we've seen Kirk be bored, but it was in the Kelvin timeline. If you remember,
Yeah.
it's not Into Darkness. It's I think Beyond, the one with
The
Idris
third
Elba
one.
in it.
Yeah, the third one.
Yeah, he was like about to leave the Enterprise because he was losing his way in space. So I was like, oh, this is just a Kirk thing, even when he is captain.
Yeah.
And then you've rewatched Enterprise several times, right?
Yeah.
This conversation between a Vulcan and a human again reminded me a lot about an Archer to Paul conversation.
Hmm.
That was kind of like very similar. They were going to go down to a planet. Archer was like, "Let's get in the shuttlecraft and go down there," and T'Pol's like, "Well, on Vulcan, we send probes down for a few days to make sure everything's good." And Archer's like, "Ah, screw it." And it's like they basically
Yeah.
it doesn't blow up, right? But
Yeah.
like same thing happens. Stuff goes left. You realize how silly of a risk it was
Yeah.
actually by the end of it. So I thought that was a pretty cool parallel.
But I know one of the main things that a lot of Starfleet officers like is just like, we're here to explore, like look at stuff, like see it with our own two eyes and explore it and do all the analysis of how it like came to fruition. Was there a society there? All that good stuff. So it was one of those things for Kirk. I feel like in this particular situation, that was just like, dude, like, can we do something? I'm just we're just up here just scanning. Can we just go down to the planet and look at it with our own two eyes? Is that
And I
is that such a big eye? Personally, I felt the same way. If I'm being honest.
Oh yeah, I also would have if she had listened to me, gotten everybody unalived because I'd be like, "Yep, going down to the
Going
planet," and it
on the
probably would have
planet.
exploded the moment we got there. I guess in Star Trek, you should never be too excited for an away mission.
Never. You know what? We should have learned that for a particular episode. What
Right?
what is that episode? It's gonna come back to me. Go ahead, go for it. It'll come back to me.
Yeah. Okay, so after the opening sequence, the Enterprise shows up, blasting debris, using its shields
Oh,
to keep the Farragut from
oh,
being destroyed.
I do want to point out something else. I apologize. Well,
Hmm.
because you you said after the intro. Does anybody skip the intro?
I'm offended that the option is there. I'm like,
I
why would I do that?
I get offended every time I see it too. I'm not even gonna lie. I I don't know why it made me want to ask this, but I put that in my notes. Like, does anybody skip this intro? Who would skip this intro?
Who would do that? Not a real Trekkie, not a real Trekker. Like we watch our intros in Star Trek Skydance. If you're listening,
Yeah,
we watch our intros.
we watch our intro.
Okay,
Like, especially if
don't
they're
start cheaping out on the intros.
this good. Like, I'm sorry, I had to point that out, but continue, please.
Yep, yep. I think somewhere in there I may have missed. We learned that Captain Varel is fine. Oh no, we get that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Spock, La'an, Scotty, and Uhura beam aboard to start the rescue mission. And on their way, they run into that dude, and so Chapel has to go to sickbay. Scotty's going to head to engineering to assess the situation, and La'an and Spock head to the bridge. Chapel heads to sickbay. We see that Captain Varel's actually good, but not that good.
Yeah, yeah.
She's not.
She has a strong concussion for a Vulcan, which is pretty bad because Vulcans can take a lot of pain.
Yeah, yeah. I get the feeling that would have unalived any other
Yeah, yeah,
type of captain. Let's see. And then La'an starts to realize that this might be something related to Legend, which I think comes up later, but I
yeah.
don't
She
remember.
said "destroyer of worlds" in
Yeah.
that scene. Well,
And then they
before,
have a scene.
but
Hmm.
before that, did you see the La'an longing look to Kirk and Kirk doing the same thing back to La'an?
Well, given that I have a parasocial celebrity crush, I notice her in every scene. And yeah, I noticed that. Also, he says, like, he's like Spock, Uhura, and then goes first name for La'an. So,
Yeah,
like, yeah, they definitely had a connection, which I did watch a breakdown on this YouTube channel called Sci Fanatics, which I'm not in love with their breakdowns, but he does like a kind of like
hmm
he said that must be kind of awkward now that Lon is with Spock or
yeah.
in a situation
Well, in
with
a
Spock.
situationship, yeah. They're together, not together. They're having fun.
Whatever.
It sounded like
Could we have
jealousy.
written
That sounded like
Could we
jealousy.
have written anything? No, no. I'm a like you. I've lived through my 20s and 30s. I'm a mature adult. I know the boundaries of my parasocial celebrity crushes. I just seriously don't like the direction of this plot line,
I,
and I'm
I, I,
glad.
I mean, we talked about that in the last episode.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, we both are just tired of the whole Scott just bang, not Scott,
Spock.
Spock,
Yeah,
Spock just like banging everybody on
he's gonna
on the
f everyone on the
Enterprise.
ship.
Like,
This is just how it is. And now that he's been on the Farragut, he's gonna f all of them too.
you know, you
That's
know,
what these writers do. Let's see. Yeah, we learned that the captain was good. Initially, I couldn't tell what the Enterprise was shooting at because I was looking for an enemy vessel. Um, but on
when
the
it came in and saved the Farragut, it was just
yeah, but on the
huh.
rewatch, I realized it was debris.
Yeah,
So
debris and asteroid that was about to hit it.
yeah,
Hit.
I think the thing that confused me is Kirk is like, "Oh, it's that thing that's blocking our communications," and I was like, "Oh, so he sees the thing," and so I was looking for a thing for the Enterprise to be shooting at, and it like wasn't there.
Yeah, they didn't want to reveal it at that time.
Yep. So this isn't in the plot points, but I have a note that just says WTF is that when the enemy ship appears.
when it appears. Well, okay.
Yeah.
What? However, before the ship appeared, I found it interesting. As soon as La'an got the I guess the data. Uh, what is that thing? Now that I'm thinking about it, this could be like on our technology that doesn't make sense type
Oh
thing.
yeah, she got something that she had to go give Pike himself, as opposed to it being like emailed over
Was
to
it
him. Like,
memory crystal or something like that? Like
yeah,
it glows.
blinking, you miss it, techno babble, right?
Yeah, it glows and it's luminescent. I was just like, how can data be stored? You know, whatever. It's the future.
What was that? Well,
But
the whole point is that
the whole point is to get
we know what they're
on off
doing.
the ship. Yeah.
Yeah,
As soon
they
as
got
that happened, I was like, as soon as that happened, I put in my notes. So everybody who ends up under uh, Kirk's command is on the Farragut. Okay,
yes,
I see exactly where y'all are going with this.
and this rules so hard. Like,
Yes,
like,
yes,
like, like the minute it happened, and I can't remember when they confirmed that they sent Varel over to the Enterprise to be treated. But I was like, yes,
so so
I want all this.
immediately what I was thinking was this is going to be an episode where he discovers how each of them are, and he wants to keep each and every one of them when he finally becomes captain of the Enterprise. It reminded me of when like they had me as an assistant manager just like bouncing from centers to centers, like helping out and like fixing stuff and all that. The people that I met in those centers ended up working for me in the future because I made mental notes of how they
Yeah,
were. Actually, my assistant manager, like, I worked with her at the baking center that she was at, and the whole time I was thinking to myself, why isn't she a manager yet? So, a good captain, or a good leader, I should say, pays attention to really great people and makes a mental note.
yeah, and they actually kind of subvert it as well. He may have learned that, but he learned it on the way of being humbled too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's not like he was like in a place of judgment where he's like, "Oh, that was impressive, Uhura. You got a good
Yeah.
mind or whatever, whatever you say in say in that situation." It's like they really help him out like at one of his worst moments.
Mm-hmm.
After seemingly getting a taste of his dream job, being captain, and realizing how hard it actually is, and that starts the respect, and I think that's pretty cool. Rather than him just being like, "Oh yeah, Spock is smart, and Chapel's a good nurse," and yeah,
Yeah. But the
it would have been a
crazy
much more
thing,
boring episode if they had done that.
the crazy thing though is when that big ship finally reveals itself. Number one, it's freaking huge and massive, and then has pretty much has a face on the front to eat you alive. So the whole time that ship battle was happening, when they were seeing the Enterprise fight this big ship, I was like, y'all are getting really close to its mouth, extremely close. Ortegas, Ortegas, you fly the ship. You fly the ship, Ortegas. You are too.
I
And and Enterprise is 8. Okay, all right.
I that's a good point. However, I don't think um, ge- go. I don't think you're expecting someone to do that. Is
No,
what I'm
no.
trying to say, and I couldn't think of a PG version of how to say that. But let's just say I don't think that the other ship is like basically eating the other the enemy ship, eating your ship like a snack is something that you like expect, right? so
I,
so I'm
I,
not totally hating them
I
on it.
don't know if I was Ortegas. I'm just telling you, if I was Ortegas and I'm seeing this ship get as close as it was, and I'm also seeing that it has like a mouth, I'm gonna put two and two together. It was like, yep, turn the ship around, whatever. I don't care whatever the hell the captain is saying right now. Turn the ship around.
Although keep in mind they destroyed the planet with a tractor beam, so maybe the Enterprise was stuck. But yes, they do not make it clear exactly how the Enterprise gets gobbled up essentially by the ship.
Oh well, I feel like in editing me is gonna want to put a certain clip right here.
I know. I know. I know. That's why I've been like dancing around how to talk about this.
Because it's immediately what I thought of as soon as.
I know. I know. Me too.
Who's that? Bishop?
I think it was TD
TD
Jakes.
Jakes? Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I think that's who it was.
For anyone who wants to know exactly what we're talking about, Bishop TD Jakes. That's all we're gonna say. Okay.
Hmm.
Any more could end up. I would need to do some strong editing, so or we would get demonetized. So
Look, one day, us here on your unpopular exploring journey, we both might be self-employed one day, and we can just say it. But at the moment, we are not.
we are not. Yes. Yes.
So I don't exactly get to control how people react to the things I say on the
I
internet. So
I actually have
well,
that in my notes, by the way. Like,
I didn't. You thought of it before. I didn't think of it until I was trying to describe what was happening, and I'm like, oh, I can't say that.
have you
Can't
ever
say that.
been
Right.
Patrick? Have you ever
The
been?
plead the fifth.
Okay, all right. We'll move forward. We'll move forward.
So the way I have it in the plot points, the Enterprise gets captured and attached with an umbilical, which I don't totally know what the umbilical does. I don't feel like I needed the explanation. It's just like
It was siphoning
taking.
energy from the Enterprise.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Because that's why main engines were offline, and they were losing auxiliary power fast.
Duh. I should have caught that. Behind the scenes, once again, I was watching the episode while working out, so I probably missed a couple details on the way.
Well, but that's also why I'm here as well.
Oh
Some of
yeah,
the things you
teamwork makes the
miss,
dream work.
exactly. Some of the things you miss, you point out. I mean, some of the things you miss, I point out. Some of the things I miss, you point out. So
Yep. And you already pointed out TOS crew is on the Farragut, Strange New Worlds crew is on the Enterprise. I thought that was super cool. It's
it
just,
was.
it's like, wow, and they have to solve the problem from different directions. So I'm like, this is awesome.
Uh,
And Kirk really, oh, go ahead.
no, I was just saying how much I love the fact that you got to see, like, even though practically all of them were Pike's crew, you got to see how why Kirk gravitated more towards picking these bridge officers. Like, granted, like we're still missing two Chekhov and Sulu.
Well, well, and Bones.
Well, yeah, and Bones. You're right, and Bones.
Yeah, they make it very clear at the beginning of the episode where she's like, where's your CMO? Oh, we're not getting Bones in this episode. Like, that dude is now just a letter home, unfortunately.
But I'm trying to remember. I believe Bones worked with Kirk on the Farragut.
Oh, did he?
I'm trying.
So that is how they're going to do it eventually. Oh, maybe that's what they're setting up by
Exactly, because
unaliving.
the
Yeah.
chief medical officer passed, so I would believe like when they got their next influx of crew once they finally fixed the Farragut, because it was badly uh, hurt.
Oh, it was effed up.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Something
sure
Scotty notes over and over again in the episode. Like
over
Scotty,
and over and over again.
like Scotty is indeed a miracle worker, but it's like you got to have something to start with.
And even
Like,
and even after that, within this particular situation, when he goes to Mr. Scott and just like Mr. Scott is essentially made the chief of engineering of the Farragut, in a field promotion basically. Uh,
basically.
and he tells him like you need to work a miracle in order to get the ship operational. Uh, and I need engines and weapons in that order.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the note I have for that, and I don't know if we're ahead of the script or behind, but we're here, so we should talk about it.
Mm.
He calls him reckless later. I actually wrote before that, is he being reckless? Because yeah, Scotty's a miracle worker, but your ship is like totally disabled. Like like there's not a
Yeah.
lot to work with here, and arguably Scotty does pull off a miracle to get them back to warp to try to get in front or to get in front of the scavenger ship. And I don't know. I think part of the themes of this episode is understanding not only the weight of command, but like the limits of command. And it's like, yeah, if if everything is broken and you need to be at a starbase, there's only so much you're going to be able to do. You need to factor that into your decision making.
See,
Like you wouldn't attack the scavenger ship in this shape, so like, what
and
are you going to do?
all this comes from experience. Like,
Yeah,
and that's why any first officer, assistant manager, or anybody that's like underneath the person over that either department, cruise ship, whatever, like that person is to absorb why the buck will stop with me. Te-
yeah,
Basically, like, and that's difficult when you're younger or inexperienced. It's difficult to grasp fully how your actions or how you react to this particular situation will ultimately have a cascading effect to either have something that is positive that will happen or something that is negative that will happen. But the biggest thing that the biggest thing I had to learn, I should say, is being experienced enough and understanding enough to pay attention to like the risks of something and then listening to the people that's underneath you because a lot of times they may have expertise that you don't. So paying attention to what they are saying and then coming to the best way to take care of that situation. But when you make that decision, being sound with that decision. Like that's the
yeah,
hardest part.
yeah. It's definitely a leadership lesson. It's definitely a leadership arc in migration where it's
Mm-hmm.
like when you're early in your career, especially in like our capitalistic society, you're just thinking, oh, it's all this money and then I get to call the shots and
Mm-hmm.
da da da. The closer you get to it and start to get a taste of it, you start to realize, oh, if I'm going to be any good as a leader, I'm actually here for everybody else. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like really,
Mm-hmm.
I can make decisions and all that stuff, and I have a huge impact. But I really have one of the more powerless positions
Yeah.
in here because I'm dependent and I can't micromanage, or you shouldn't micromanage. This is if you're trying to be good. So yeah, there's like it's almost like the Lion King, like the allure of being king will have you singing, "Oh, I just can't wait to be king," and then like the stuff to actually get you there happens, and you're like, "Okay, wait a minute,
And
I'm gonna have to grow up if I'm gonna get this right."
and I would be remiss if I didn't go back to the whole Captain Jellicoe and Commander Riker situation.
Hmm.
Like I know a lot of Trekkies have pointed out that Commander Riker was wrong in that situation, and I mean, in a lot of it, yeah, I would have to agree. He did
Hmm.
not he did not follow the orders of his captain, regardless of whether you like the orders or not. Your captain told you to do this. You still follow through with those orders. But however, I still have to point out that Captain Jellicoe came on board he was just top ish and didn't
Yeah, he was definitely bull in a china shop.
yeah and didn't like show the the rest of the crew that did not know him, never worked with him ever. Like he didn't show them why he was the best person for this job.
Well, that's I mean, we get a little bit just tying it back to the episode.
Mm-hmm.
We get a little bit more of it later when he's talking to Spock that like he really kind of feels like he's 0 for 2 for the day and he doesn't know where he is as a leader. But he also like that's one of the first pressures that he feels is like these aren't even Farragut people that have
Yeah.
to rely on me now. Do they even trust me? Like how do I earn their trust, save the day, and all that stuff? And he really starts to feel like, oh, being captain is a heavy job.
And see, and here's the parallels. This is one of the things that I noticed from this episode, and they were kind of tying, in a way, they were kind of tying this back to a previous episode, not necessarily Strange New Worlds, but when Captain Pike had to take control of Discovery, and they don't
Oh
know
yeah,
him. They
that's a
don't.
good parallel.
They don't know him. He's completely foreign to them, but he noticed that and was like, I need to show them why I am a great captain. I need to show them that they can trust me. They don't know me
Yeah,
from Adam. So how can I do that? That was one of the very first things that he thought of when he took command of Discovery.
yeah, he had everyone sounded off, but even more importantly than like caring what their names are, he
Hmm.
trusts everyone to do their jobs.
Yeah,
He immediately turned around and was like, "You do this, you do this, you do this," and Detmer, you fly good. Like like he didn't immediately, especially like now that we know he has Ortegas, who is like probably the best pilot in the fleet. Like
hmm,
he wasn't immediately just trying to be like, all this needs to be the way it is on the Enterprise, and everyone has to
exactly.
step up to our level. It's just like, nope, y'all are good.
Exactly.
Just be the best versions of yourself, and we will get this figured out.
A good leader will look at his people and on the very first day not be like, "Oh, we got to like burn everything down." No.
Yeah,
Pay attention to how they are first. And then you will have notes to give to them later if there are areas that they need to improve. You don't just come
yep,
in and just be like, no, you need to be like this. No, you need to be like this. No, you need to be like this. Pay attention first. Let's see what we need to fix first. So
yeah. Let's diagnose it and then lead.
so
Absolutely.
you're seeing those parallels from how he was, and then it's like, okay, now you see Kirk, who is still learning, learn, and was
Mm-hmm.
still a raw first officer. So he doesn't know, well, he doesn't have that foresight at this point or that level of experience to be able to say they don't know me from Adam. How can I make them feel comfortable with me in command?
Yeah, yeah. This this being a Kirk episode was a brilliant move, and I think they
Yes,
did it in a brilliant way. And by the way, your linkages there from Jellicoe to Pike to Kirk, also brilliant. I'm gonna give you some kudos here, right here on air.
appreciate that.
It was really good. I totally did not pick that up.
Well, whenever I watch these episodes, I kind of like try to be in the. I kind of try to think like the writers in a way, of like what they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to convey, and a lot of times, good writers will parallel to something that happened either within that particular series or within another series that like is sister or married to the within the same universe. So
Right.
I just, and I could tell the Strange New World writers are really, really good with that. They do a
Yeah.
lot of good
Yeah.
tie-ins.
Yeah. I know Skydance is gonna make more Star Trek. I hope they find people who love the property as much as the current group of people who are putting out stuff do.
Hmm.
And we don't end up with any weirdness. I'm trusting them not to because they did well enough with the Kelvin timeline, but yeah, that's like just a reminder, Skydance. I'm gonna start dropping these now that the deal is going through. Find people who love Star Trek to put on the Star Trek,
Yes,
please.
it kind of makes for better television that way, because someone who actually cares about the property is actually going
it,
to make a good episode. So
yeah, there was some Star Trek movie. It was one of the TOS movies. I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the ones that were bad, but like the director had like never seen Star Trek, and like it totally showed. I can't remember which one. I'm gonna have to look it up at some point,
okay,
but
now that one's interesting. When you find that, let me know.
okay, we'll do. Yeah, we've we're kind of swirling around the plot, but there. Oh, do you want me to move on, or did you have another?
No, no, go ahead and move on because we need to get to the point where because they're pretty much dead in the water at this point, right? Because they
Yeah, and
blew the plasma manifolds.
oh yeah, we need to get to that point. So, what comes out of this conversation, what kicked all that off, is that we're wondering if Kirk is being a little reckless. He tells Scotty to work a miracle, which Scotty does, so that they
Mm-hmm.
can get to maximum warp.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, on the Enterprise, basically what happens is that they're heading to engineering. They run into Pelia, who's like, "There's toxic gas
Yeah.
in engineering, so we don't want to go there." So they go to the science lab to essentially hatch the plan. So we know the Farragut's plan is to get back to warp and get in front of the scavenger vessel.
Mm-hmm.
The Enterprise plan is basically, let's cut the umbilical and then use whatever we've got to fly out of here. I think is essentially what happens. And so Una, Pelia, and Ortegas work on getting us out of here, trying to figure out how to get us out of here once the umbilical is cut. And Pike and La'an go put on the, I don't know, bulletproof vest or whatever that is, and
The
get the
I
GATs
I
to
call them
go cut the
tactical
umbilical.
suits,
Okay.
and, and I love the look of them. I
Oh,
love
they're
the look
great.
of them.
I wish they had that back in TNG and DS9 and stuff, like a
Yes,
clear
yeah.
visual change for when they're going into danger. That would have been amazing.
I thought I was the only one.
No, no, I'm
like,
totally with you on that.
like man, these updated looks, man, for like not only just the ship sets, but like just um the weapons, how the weapons look, how
Hmm.
the uniforms are looking. Even just like something as simple as like their dress uniforms, like their costume department, 10 out of 10s. Like I haven't seen anything that looked terrible, really. I'm probably gonna eat those words now that I'm thinking about it after I just
I
said
think
that.
we did in our uniforms episode. We did point out something from this current period of Star Trek
That was
making
with
that we didn't like.
Discovery for me.
Yeah, it was in Discovery.
The flap that was on their lapel, it was like it was just terrible looking. The first full blue uniform that they wore.
Well, in the first 31st century uniform, or yeah, 31st century uniforms that were like all gray, but the color stripe
Hmm.
before they flipped the colors was also like hideous.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
that too. Yeah.
yeah, which I think it's coming back for Starfleet Academy. I think the cadets are dressed in that. So
That that'll probably be this first knock against it. But
every
but
episode has been deducted a point already.
Strange New Worlds though, I I'm granted I'm gonna have to do some rewatches. Granted, like I don't feel like they've missed within the costume department. Even like their regular just street clothes or just when they're trying to be incognito clothes. Like nothing looks awful crazy or not like it did in like your 90s Star Trek when they have to go down on a away mission to not 20th century Earth. And they're just
Yeah,
wearing these like crazy 90s clothes that to me still was crazy for that era anyway. So
yeah. I think the only thing they might have missed on was Una's hair in that episode where she makes that decision I don't agree with from this season.
you still hate that. Well, somebody pointed
I'm
out that
still.
Pike's hair in this episode uh, looked crazy, but
Oh, did it? I
I
didn't
didn't pay
notice.
attention. I didn't notice that. I didn't pay attention to it.
I remembered what you said about Una's hair in that episode, that she was trying to like exude more command by maybe like making sure. And I noticed that Varel did have, I think essentially what's like a pixie cut to have shorter hair.
Hmm.
So maybe that is like their thinking, like when the women aren't in command, long hair. When they're in command, shorter hair. I don't know why you
Yeah,
do that though.
I mean,
But Battelle doesn't do that either, so
like I
that kind of
said,
breaks that.
I instantly thought about Voyager and how they made uh, Captain
Yeah,
Janeway's hair like every time she would put it up when she was in command, and it wasn't until later that they cut it to where she had like just shorter hair and just let it like lay down.
yeah. I still am just, Maybe it's my second wave feminism streak, but like, just let them have the hair that they feel the most confident in, and then let them be captain. That's fine.
Well, yeah, but
Like,
you see that in Discovery too, where they allow Burnham to wear her hair however way she wants.
yeah,
A
yeah,
lot of African American style hairdos, which I truly appreciated every time I
yeah. I
saw
thought
it.
that was cool.
But yeah,
Let's see. So
hmm
Kirk is on the bridge. So we got the plans basically, like how we're
yeah,
gonna get ourselves out of this mess. We're gonna try these plans. Scotty somehow gets the engines back to warp so that they can overtake the scavenger vessel. Um, Kirk gets
he
cocky on the bridge
starts to
and
feel himself.
is like, I will be taking drinks from everyone who thought this wasn't possible. Of course, after we save all of our friends' lives, of course.
Famous last words.
Then it breaks.
Yep, yep, yep. Don't
The
ever
plasma
talk about
manifolds
don't
break.
ever talk about it working in the middle of us doing
I was about to
it.
say, just take the win, man.
Just
Just take the win.
be as
Be
optimistic as
humble.
possible. Let's hope this holds up. Let's hope.
Yeah. Exactly.
So far so good. Let's let's hope this holds up.
Yeah, the other breakdown that I saw pointed that out. He was like, he jinxed it. He shouldn't have said anything, and he
You
jinxed
never
it.
when you're having a good day at work, you don't ever say that you're having a good day at work. Like
And
you only
mhm.
say that after work has concluded.
And you never get on the internet and say there's never going to be a bad episode of Strange New Worlds. You just don't
Never.
do that
Yeah,
either.
yeah. You never do that. Who did that? Someone did that?
I don't know. Someone who was young and stupid needed to be
Oh.
humbled. That was all.
Oh, okay. Okay. So another Kirk situation. Got it.
The Kirk situation. As far as predicting the quality of Strange New Worlds episodes goes. Let's see. Before I push the script along, let me see if I have any of my other notes. Okay, I don't think that's happened yet.
And yeah,
Looking.
really,
Oh, okay.
the only thing that I had that the plasma manifolds blew. Oh, and how big the beings were that were um, that Pike and Laan fought. Like those, like they were
Yeah,
massive.
they were hard on themselves because I was about to say spoiler alert for some reason, like this isn't a review episode. But obviously, we learn later that they're humans, and I'm like, I don't know how you would have ever known that they were humans without them actually saying, "Oh, thank God, there's other humans here.
Yeah.
Please help us. We've been lost for hundreds of years and have amassed technological advances that would advance the Federation by probably a century." But instead, we're not going to say anything.
I mean, and we're gonna get to that more later down the line here, but like, yeah, that was they were massive. That's
They
pretty much
look like, I
look.
never played this game, but Bioshock, I think is the
Yeah,
name
yeah,
of
yeah.
it.
The big daddies. Yes,
Yeah, they look like those things,
yes.
except without the big drill. Yeah.
Without the drill hand, yeah. uh, but yeah, then we get to
Oh, I got you. I got you. If you're ready to move it
mhm.
along.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, we get to the conversation that there's the two options: we can abandon ship or play dead.
Hmm.
Is what Scotty kind of comes up with, and Kirk more or less freaks out in front of everyone in a way that I don't think he ever does on TOS. So watching it happen, I was just kind of like, our boy's having a moment.
Okay, so and here's the controversial moment within the episode because you're gonna have some Trekkies who are just like huge Kirk fanboys. That's just like Kirk would have never reacted this way in this particular situation, and you're gonna get a lot of argument back from that saying, "Well, when we knew Kirk, he was seasoned. He already had the the full first officer series and learned a lot from him being the first officer. So when he became a captain, he was much more tempered to be able to make the right judgment call in these stressful situations. This was his very first time
Hmm.
in the chair when a terrible situation occurred. And it wasn't just like a small terrible situation. This was a big, massive terrible situation where the crew, part of his crew, had to escape in escape pods. So he only had a skeleton crew on board, and then he also had crew members that were from another ship that wasn't under his command that he now has to take command over. Like
Yeah.
that is a lot for your very first command. So I think
See,
he
remember?
reacted the way that anybody else would have. My bad.
No. I didn't realize you were done. Um, the way I talked about how every one of my first ensigns away mission would be like beam down, drop off lunch, beam back, don't touch anything. That's as an admiral. That's how I treat my captains on their first mission. It'd be nothing like this. I'd be like, drop the food off at the
Something
ambassador's
small.
house,
Yep.
bring it back, and then come back and we'll talk about it. Okay.
You would make a mean admiral.
Hey, I'm not keeping them there forever. I'm not being. I just want them to succeed, and then I'm gonna send them on something dangerous. That's all.
Okay. So, but it just so happened that that would be the episode of Star Trek where they're doing something
Yes.
small, and then all of a sudden, like their ship get hit by some filament
The planet blows up.
filament in the middle of space, and the ship is disabled, and they got to keep the food for the admiral cool. So the power is now off. So the power is off to the ship. So it's just happened to be off to the refrigerator that had this food for the admiral. So now they got to find a separate power source for that to keep that cool, but also at the same time fix the ship to. You see,
Exactly. No,
you
you
see
said
how
that last week too. It
you
was
see how
like he was
ridiculous.
like, you know, you're.
I just did a Star Trek episode. Like,
You did. You just broke a Star Trek episode for sure. And you said that last week. Where you're like, you know, you're still gonna lose ensigns that way. I'm like, I know.
it's still it's Star Trek. It always starts off as some mundane mission. Heck, this episode started off that
He was bored,
way. It
and
was
then
a
the planet blew up.
mundane mission, and then all hell broke loose.
Indeed,
So
indeed. So
I
yeah, I
think
mean,
you're still gonna have an adverse effect with that. Is what I'm saying. Like,
oh, definitely, definitely. I think my overarching point is one, definitely not the first day you want to have as captain,
no, no.
especially by surprise. And B, my leadership point in that is like, always set your people up to succeed if you can control it. When you're controlling what you can control, so
I mean,
that's all. All the joking there was for.
I feel like he needed this moment though. Like we needed to see a more vulnerable Captain Kirk. Like, granted, we got to see that here and there within the episodes of TOS and the movies, but not to this same level to see a raw Kirk that doesn't have everything planned. The Kobayashi Maru type
Yeah,
Kirk. So I really loved this point with his character because he didn't know exactly what to do. He was upset with the decision that he made for them to push the Farragut as hard as they did to get it in front of that ship, and which
and he was
ended up making them stranded. Go ahead.
Yeah, and he hung that L on trying to get everyone, trying to get a away team on the planet right when it explodes. He
Yeah,
he took a confidence hit on that too. Like it is a scary thing when you start to feel like you can't trust your intuition. I don't
yeah.
know if
You're
you've ever
second
had
guessing
like,
yourself.
yeah, have you ever had just like a run of like decisions that just randomly just didn't work out, and you're just like, man, well, I'm just
Hmm.
not going to do anything.
Hmm.
like nothing's working right
I,
now,
I,
and it
I,
takes a.
I probably had that
Mhm.
more in my current job than what I had as a branch manager. Um, because by the time when I was a branch manager, I already had like I had been a supervisor at Best Buy. I had been a team lead at like Circuit City before it went under. Um, I had been an assistant manager at GameStop. So, and then when I came on with the bank,
You're gonna
uh huh.
you're gonna edit all this out. You're just doxing.
No, no, um, because like these are like all regular jobs that a lot of people have had. Like as
That's
a
true. But do you have a LinkedIn? Is all that on your LinkedIn?
no, no, not
Oh,
all
okay.
that. No.
Then you should be good.
I really only have my current stuff on my LinkedIn, but like
On the next episode, he reads his address for everyone.
1818.
I live on 1 Federation Boulevard.
No, but like I'm pointing this out to say like I had so much leadership experience by the time that I was put as a branch manager. I was I was pretty confident in like my choices. Like I knew I'm gonna make this choice. Forget about it. Like because
Yeah.
if you dwell on the choice too much, you're going to make cascading mistakes. And that's
Yeah.
what Kirk had to learn within this moment.
Yeah, but I like the fact that he was kind of keeping score because I operate a lot on my intuition as well. So like when my intuition doesn't feel off, and it could be like little stuff, like, man, I left for the store at the wrong time, and that got me
Mm,
stuck over here in this traffic. And then the next day, it's like, oh, I'm gonna send this email, and no, I didn't word it right, or something. Like you can
yeah,
just go on a
yeah,
run where it just feels like
yeah,
your intuition is just not working for whatever reason.
yeah,
It's just, and that like really kind of shakes you. And in a moment like this, where it's like life or unaliving, right? Right? Like I can understand why he got shook so hard because it's just like, man, my intuition's usually fire, and now it's just working against me somehow.
yeah. I think a lot of people have crisis like that at one point or another with their jobs. So I'm just glad that they show once again they show him the person that like knew seemed like he knew everything when he was captain, like actually showing him in a pretty vulnerable moment.
And I'm sure during the rewatch, we're going to see Kirk make and admit to mistakes if they did at least any one episode like that. Because that's the thing about leaders and getting to leadership and getting to lead people, like both you and I have. Like, you're
Hmm.
still going to make mistakes.
Yeah,
Like, that does not go away just because someone's like, oh, you're in charge now. Like, no, you can still make mistakes and have to fix them and things like that. But to your point, it's about making them. If it didn't blow the whole ship up, then fix them,
yeah,
move on,
yeah,
right? Learn the lesson and move on, right? Like that's the. I think that's a big part of the humbling for leaders is that you come into leadership thinking, oh yeah, I get to call all the shots now, and then all of a sudden you learn is like, oh yeah, I gotta. I'm in a position where I have to constantly improve because
you
people are counting on me.
you are a glorified babysitter for older people.
Yeah,
Like seriously, you have to be able to manage the people not only just on a level of you know what you're doing with your particular profession, but you also have to know them to manage them. Like you have to understand them, how they tick, how they are within certain situations. What's the best way to actually motivate them? Like it takes a while for you to like really hone those skills and really be an effective leader in those situations. So,
well, yeah, and I might bring it up later, but I'm gonna bring it up now. We'll try not to have the same conversation twice, so I bring it up again.
mhm,
I feel like when you get to, because some of the leadership training I've had before, it's described as a ladder. You get to the top of the leadership ladder, and there's
mhm,
different steps along the way. They didn't tell me this in that particular training, but I felt like in my own personal life, I've had to realize that being the leader means it's an act of service. And really, what saves you
yes,
from being a leader is having
yes,
the best people you can possibly can have around them and enable them to be their best,
mhm,
because that's going to save you in more situations than anything that's going to come right out of your brain. Like sometimes you're going to see it a little bit better than them, and you need them to just trust you in that moment. But often it's like, I mean, they do that on Star Trek. Often it's Geordi figuring it out, it's Crusher
Mm-hmm.
figuring it out,
Mm-hmm.
it's somebody doing something because
And
you
then the
set up the
captain's just saying,
atmosphere to let.
make it so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You set up the atmosphere for that to happen, and then you go, great plan. Let's do that. And that's what saves you as a leader is
It does.
having people
It
around you.
truly does. The
that,
people that are under you, they have those positions for a reason. Like you either hired that person in for that position, or they got hired into this position by somebody else for a reason. They are supposed to be professional within their job description. Let them be able to be that professional,
yeah,
because there's certain sides of there is no leader that knows everything. There's no leader
none.
that knows everything. Like that this whole BS like of like Elon Musk, like the genius and like he's all knowing and knowing everything, that
Hey,
stuff.
hey,
Like,
hey, are we getting political on
yes,
a
we
Star
are.
Trek
Yes, we
podcast?
are. Yes, we are. Screw that. A lot. If you really went back and you found out exactly how Elon Musk uh, got his millions into billions, it wasn't from his intelligence. It was from the
Was not
intelligence
was
of
no,
other
not at
people.
all.
But he was, I will give him credit that he was intelligent enough to put himself in bed with these people to be able to get to this point. Like I will give him that much. But as far as him having the intelligence to be able to make up this stuff, he doesn't. I'm sorry to tell
Well,
you.
and since we're on a political point, leadership as serving and serving as a leader and
Hmm.
being accountable to your people, we don't have that leadership in the Oval Office right now, and it
We don't.
shows. And he ran on it. He campaigned on it. He said, I don't. Of all the things I fault him for, I don't fault him for his leadership style because he said, "Hey, I'm gonna be the one that knows it all, and we're just gonna do it my way and all that stuff." And people went for it, but
Hmm.
that is not good leadership
It's not.
in 10 out of 10 situations. That is not the way you're supposed to be as a leader. And I worry about us. Like ever since he said at that first convention that he spoke at, where he was like, "I'm the only one that understands the problem, and therefore I'm the only one that can fix it," or something like that.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, this ain't it. This man is not a leader.
And
So,
it pains me every time I see his quote unquote leadership. I roll there. Um,
mm-hmm.
it it's pay as someone who's been a leader, it pains me to see it every time. And I'm just like,
Every
people,
time.
this is what y'all wanted, but like, we'll get off our soapbox on that one
For now.
for now until we get back to another fascist episode.
All right. The soapbox is right here next to me.
I just
It used to be
I
in the closet. Now it's over here,
I
right
just
next
kind
to
of
me.
want to go up to our current sitting president and just be like,
You betrayed your uniform!
There you go. So did. I
like,
can't imagine what it'd be like to work for that man. Oh, God, it's disgusting.
think of the worst uh, manager supervisor you ever had, and times it by 20.
Yep. Yep. Good Lord. Well, to help you tie that off, I agree with you that I think this Kirk losing his composure moment should make the Kirk fans really happy because it shows by the time you see William Shatner Kirk in TOS, it's like,
Hmm.
oh, he's not just like a Mary Sue. He's not just like a superhero. He doesn't just
Yeah.
show up with this. He's like, he earned it. And it's just, I think that's cool.
And it kind of makes sense from like the very first episode with Kirk, as to why Uhura, Spock, Scotty, and Nurse Chapel would even put a lot of trust into him because they've already been in a situation together and they know what he can do once he's like been tempered and like focused. So he's earned it by that point, at least with them. Now it's interesting to see what happens with Bones, what happens with Sulu, what happens with
Yeah.
Chekhov. It really, I believe, just Chekhov. He came in as an ensign, so um,
He was just following orders.
yeah.
They're probably never really going to explain that too well. But and also, I think for me at least, seeing someone grow into something versus
Mm-hmm.
them coming in and people just
Mm-hmm.
being, and even if you trust the people, right? But people just being like, this is the dude that is the dude to just do what he says. Like I would trust that more if I saw him have a tough moment and get through it. And then even if I never saw that tough moment again, I'd still be like, well, this is the guy that figures out how to get through tough
Mm-hmm.
moments, so I'll trust him.
I mean, I saw a clip on YouTube that did kind of like a re-showing of how Jean-Luc Picard was when he was young and he got into the fight with the Nausicaans and it
Yeah.
ended up impaling him in the back. And it they did that through during TNG. So it showed a moment when Picard was very brash and young and for lack of a better term, kind of stupid in a way. So it was
Yeah.
good to be able to see that in parallel to the tempered Captain Picard who's been through a lot and knows how to command.
Well, and we got NFL football coming up, so sorry, unpopular explorers, if you don't watch football. But it's almost like a quarterback. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's good to have the aggression and know you can make all the throws, but knowing that sometimes hitting the check down on first down to get you
Mm-hmm.
set up on second down and just keep this thing moving and be part of the process,
Yeah, understanding
like
the
you got to have that
situation,
judgment. Yeah. And
knowing exactly what you need to do to accomplish it, knowing that oh it's third down, oh they got us on this play, I can throw this away and live to fight another down. You have a fourth down.
yeah, yeah, like it's not leadership to make the riskiest throw each and every time just because you got
Mm-hmm.
the arm to do it, the arm and
Jameis Winston.
mobility to do it.
Uh huh.
Well, I was talking about little lows, but would you do you want me to,
I'm sorry,
you want
your
me?
quarterback didn't throw 30 for 30, sir.
Sure didn't. He couldn't keep himself healthy long enough because he'd go on runs and just like dive at the sideline and tear up his shoulder or ankle or something.
That's
Oh
true.
gosh.
And granted, that was Winston's fifth year that occurred. So if Levis
He did that in
had
his fifth year?
his fifth year, yes, if Levis had continued to his fifth year, you probably would have had a moment like that.
Man, we would have had a 30 for 50. Like we'd be praying for 30 for 30.
I'm gonna go ahead and
I,
double Jameis Winston.
right. Just on the interceptions though.
Yeah, not on the good stat of touchdowns, but
Yeah, we'll see.
I believe
Yeah.
we belabored this point long enough. So uh,
Even though we could keep going on it, and
we could.
we'll have an opportunity to touch
Yes.
on it again. So,
Before we
well,
continue, though,
mhm.
I have to take a break real
Oh,
quick.
okay.
So we're going to take a quick break and we're going to be right back. All right, we are back. Thank you all. We had to take a quick break there. So we are back with the review for Star Trek: Strange New Worlds season 3, episode 6. So where are we, Patrick?
Yeah, so the crew from TOS is on the Farragut, and Kirk has just had kind of a freak out. He kind of said some stuff
Mm-hmm.
that he probably would have to apologize for uh, later, but we've all been there, and we're seeing his growth as a leader. And we all know that they're going to trust him implicitly with their lives one day. But for right
Yeah.
now, they're talking about a little bit of mutiny. Just a touch of mutiny.
Just a touch. Just a touch.
Just a splash of mutiny
Yeah.
potential in the episode.
So,
Watching Scotty, Spock, and her and Chapel talking about relieving Kirk of duty, it was so meta. I was just like, wow.
yeah. Yeah, but
It's like,
it made sense also in the situation. So it's like I don't blame them, but it was
don't
also
blame him at
still
all.
very interesting.
Yeah, it's like, wow. Like, I like those moments because it adds depth to the canon
Mm-hmm.
of Star Trek, because it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, wow, it's a real choice that they make to trust Kirk, like, at least this first time, and then realize he's good down the line and over again. So I actually rather liked it. I don't know how. And also, I count myself as a Kirk fan now. I don't know if you know that or if we've talked about it.
Yeah, so I was going to point out that this actor that's playing Kirk, he is, I mean, in my opinion, doing the damn thing.
He's doing great. Well, I started to become a Kirk fan with Chris Pine. So before
Mm.
all the Star Trek fans that are older than us, just know we came up through TNG, and by the time I had gotten to Kirk as a character, people were more making jokes about like William Shatner and Kirk,
Come
basically,
on,
yeah,
Mister.
and how he would like, make love to a woman every episode. That
Every
was
episode.
like, yeah, so that was my first understanding of Kirk. So it's been like a migration for me that kind of started with Chris Pine to be like, oh
Mm-hmm.
wait, no, Kirk's a real one. And then you watch some TOS episodes and you're like, Kirk's a real one. Like, what is everyone talking about? So my Kirk fandom has grown, and this episode has made me only love Kirk more. Especially this mutiny scene, or excuse me, light splash of mutiny scene where
Splash, yes, splash.
I'm like, oh wow, Kirk's a real one because he like gets these people's trust back yet. Because when you're watching it happen, you know in the episode he's not going to get relieved of duty, but it's like, wow, it's gotten to that point. But Uhura believes in him and gets everybody to like kind of chill out and just be like, and basically say for the audience what they're doing in case you're
Yeah.
being dense as a Kirk fan. Like, he's figuring out his command style.
Yeah,
This is the first time, like, it's not the first time he's been in the chair, but being in the chair where the captain goes and has a lunch break versus being in the chair when everyone's counting on you to live till tomorrow. It's
two
a
totally
very
different
thing.
situations.
Yeah. Like, this is the real.
So,
And it's like what Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face.
yes, and this is the punch in the face. So-
And absolutely.
But granted, like, I mean, comparatively to real life situations with like the management that we do, comparatively, like this particular situation, life or death, like some people could get unalived here. So, comparatively to what we do on a day-to-day basis, where no one is going to pass away from our decisions. At least we don't hope not. I mean, I don't think
Yeah, I hope not. I mean,
anything that I do that somebody can pass away from.
I take the hire fire stuff very seriously. Like,
Uh-huh.
when layoffs are on the line and like knowing that, like, because for those who, I mean, I don't know if this doxes me because I made fun of you earlier, but I work in strategy, so like if the strategy goes bad, people lose their jobs, can't feed their kids, like stuff's gonna get tough. So like I take that seriously, but it's definitely not life or not life, right? Like that's
Yeah.
still like a different level. Like you can come back from losing your job, and I'd feel really bad about the disruption I put into your life. I'd feel terrible about it if like something like that had happened.
Yeah.
Which it hasn't, because my strategies are great and they always seem to work. But anywho, I
But
just
like
got cocky. The next one's going to go
you
up in
did,
flames.
you did. You're making a Kirk issue right now.
Knock on
I
wood. Knock on wood.
I need everybody to give me a drink to buy me a drink
I know, right?
because I'm showing that this is working. Okay.
I'm a knock on wood, and a little bit later send a word up to the Lord. Hopefully, I don't eat those words anytime soon.
But it was,
But yeah,
but it was also one of those
it's
things
serious
though.
stakes.
Yeah. But when my people used to come to me and they'd be like frantic about something, like I made this mistake, da 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 da, and I'm like, okay, first calm down. Is the building on fire? Okay, no. Is someone passing away as we speak?
Yeah, right.
No. All right. Whatever situation you're coming to me with is not going to be worse than those. So calm down. Calm down. All right. What happened? And that's just to get them
Yeah,
to be like, look, this is not the end of the world. Practically, I could fix practically 99% of the issues that came up, but if the only thing I couldn't fix is if somebody gave out too much money. That's like literally the only thing I couldn't fix.
yeah. And in my line of work, it'd have to be something like HR related. That would be.
Yeah.
But I've had the same thing happen where people have come to me, not even like direct reports, but some of them sometimes do. This is how you know when you have good people around you. They come in, they want to accept responsibility, they want to take the blame, and you're just kind of like, okay, nobody's doing that today.
Yeah.
Let's just fix whatever happened.
Tell me
You
what's
seem to
going
have
on.
learned. Yeah, let's just handle it and get to the next play, please,
But that
to bring football back into it.
but that's the biggest thing though, because it made me teach them that the solution is more important than the problem. Because
Yeah,
you're
always.
so dwelling on the problem that we can't get to the solution. Like
And also bringing it to me and not like trying to
yes,
cover it up or
yes,
something like that is more
yes.
important. Like, just bring me the thing. I know
Because
you probably feel bad about it, but just bring it to me so we can get going.
if you were always hard on them every time they brought a problem to you, they were going to be less likely to bring situations like that to you because they feel like they're going to get reamed. Uh, you're
Get
not going to
fired.
take it
Yeah.
well. Yeah, get fired or like get written up. Like, so if you create that aura of, look, something happens, come to me as quickly as possible so we can fix it right then and there. And like using it just as a learning situation. This isn't a you in trouble, we got to write you up situation. This is a learning situation. And if
Yeah.
you got the right people, they're already going to feel terrible anyway.
If you got the right people, exactly. And also, you're going to learn as a leader, too, like in those
Yeah.
situations. Like, because that's the whole thing about the buck stopping with you. You just like, it's like, oh, this happened under my watch. Now I
Yeah.
also know I need to do X, Y, and Z check, or we need to make X, Y, and Z change to A, help my folks out not make the same
Yes.
mistakes, but also to improve myself. So that's what I was saying. Like, it becomes service, it becomes continuous improvement. It really offsets the whole like mystique of being like, oh, you just get to be the big man in
The
charge
big man in
now.
charge, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of people want. They want that power. They just that's all they think about is just having that power. So every time you had a terrible supervisor, manager, or whatever, it was because of that. They were so hooked on the power that they're not thinking of no, just how can I develop my people in a way that I mean ultimately it benefits you. Like if you're helping out your people, helping develop them, helping them feel comfortable coming into work, not feeling like that they are going to like the bottom is going to fall out every time something happens. Like
Hmm.
it allows that air that aura of like easy easiness. Like it's not always stressful. So in those situations when something really 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 bad happens, it's given to you quickly in enough time and then you're also going to be like okay, these are my suggestions, what do you think we should do, da 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 da, to come up with the actual way to fix it.
Yeah, yeah. And Uhura like seems to intuitively get that. guides everyone back to it, and then we get the Spock moment, which I think happens after some other stuff
And
based on the order that I took the notes here. But yeah.
I kind of knew that was going to happen. Didn't you pick up
Oh,
on that? Like that's where they were
the
leaning.
moment that it was just, I was like, I mean, it's what made me so giddy. I was like, yes, Spock and Kirk, they gonna figure this out. It's gonna be amazing.
Granted, before that occurs, Pelia comes up with the idea of going back into her quarters.
Oh, there's
And
one more thing that happens before that.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Am I out of order? Go ahead.
So there's a shootout. They
Oh, yeah.
re-encounter the dudes. There's a shootout, and of course the nameless red shirt gets got.
That's two red shirts
And
in two back-to-back episodes.
we back to back red shirt now. Like we're getting back to TOS for
We
real.
get
Like
the TOS moniker of if you're a red shirt going down with the captain or going on some type of away mission with the captain or protecting the ship in some way, yeah, it's a likelihood you're getting offed.
it's like this is what you do, Ensign. I'm giving this is the box of Uncrustables. You just put them down for everyone else, and you beam right back.
It's like
Don't get extra.
plot armor, no plot armor.
Exactly. So Mauer, I think, is her name because they say her name. She gets it. She's not like gone quite yet, and so they try to save her and have a bit of a running shootout, and they follow her to the bar. I don't remember what they call it though.
Yeah.
There's a different name for the bar. It's not 10 Forward because that's the Enterprise D. Um, Whatever. They get to the bar, and
You know, Pike,
I thought for a second they were gonna save her. To be honest with you.
I thought so too. I did too.
No,
But
I'm
no,
like,
no, take off
wait,
the
before you
helmet.
go into all this effort, yeah. It was
Completely,
just, yeah, no,
completely on the live. Completely on the live.
yeah.
The other thing I want to point out about this scene was that Captain Pike was really like heavy on that whiskey or
I caught that. Yeah, they broke a bottle of some like,
he like
that he had
grabbed
just
it
tried to
and
get.
was just like I got this during such and such such and such. And I was like, screw that. We did.
Yeah. Well, she was like, "We'll get another one."
We'll
Like,
get you another one, Captain. That would have been
I
me in
can't
that
blame him.
situation. Like
I
I
was
get
about to
it.
say, I'd be
Like
the exact same.
I get it. Like a good bottle of whiskey or bourbon. Like I would probably be the same way. Like man, we can't get rid of this. But also at the same time, like God dang it, this is a life or death situation. I probably ain't gonna drink whiskey anymore after this.
Once you break, it makes sense why they went hand to hand later. Because once you break my whiskey bottle, we're get throwing hands. Just if you invade my ship and break my whiskey, then we're throwing hands.
Well, La'an used it as an explosive device.
Yep, sure did. Well, that's the thing. And then let's see here.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we learned in that fight that their suits absorb energy. So
Yes.
that's important to know. And then they have the shootout at the bar after the whole whiskey thing. They blow up the whiskey bottle. We learn that they're susceptible to fire. I can't remember if anything else important happens there. That was a little bit of filler, I think.
Yeah, just learned that they are susceptible to physical attacks, not beam attacks, basically.
Yeah, she talks about them shooting basically bullets, like
Yeah.
really advanced bullets, which I guess was another hint that this is an old ship and old group of people. The other thing
It was
that I
pretty
have
much.
in my
I did put this in my notes. It was pretty much that that their version of hollow points, like because she
yeah.
said it was something that doesn't stop bleeding, like it just burrows in and it continue to bleed. The area won't clot.
Oh, that's a great catch. That's a great catch. I missed that.
Yeah.
The other thing, I don't know if this is just me having too many drinks with the Klingons at the Klingon bar, but Pike is like, set phasers to unalive. And my note says, wait, the phasers weren't already set? We
You're
were trying
right.
to.
I do have that in my notes too. Set phasers to unalive.
Like, The first time I saw those dudes, I would have been like, and switch.
You are
We ain't
going
taking
against you.
prisoners today.
See. You are going against regulations, Captain.
We just said they look like the things from Bioshock.
They do, but they're still a living being. So we start off on stun.
So
And if
really,
the situation escalates even more, then we go to unaliving.
I was saying that more as a joke. Really, what I was
I
thinking
know, I
was
know.
we just saw. Well, every time you call in my captain,
Oh, I have to point it out every time. I have to point it out.
my credibility to be captain.
Actually, you know the episode where Riker falls in love with the servant to one of the people that they're transporting, and then at the end he has to end up like shooting her because he found out like she was the
Oh
the
yeah,
assassin. Like that.
he bumps it up like
Yeah, that's the depiction of how you're supposed to escalate it. Of like how the Federation is supposed to escalate. Start off on stun, go up a little bit higher on stun, go up just a little bit more higher on stun. All right. At this point, do you do any more? Like we're just gonna you're gonna get vaporized. I'm sorry. Like
yeah. So really, what made me think that is that we just saw stun not work. So I was confused as to
gotcha.
why we were going to try stun again. I'm
And
like
granted,
mine would have already been switched over after we shot them with stun, and then they unalived the red shirt. And
yeah.
I'm like, screw this.
Well, also granted, we don't know how their phasers work in this time frame because it's to my understanding, even with TOS, there were really just only two settings: stun or unaliving. Like there wasn't
Yeah.
like any like step up like maximum stun like they had in TNG.
But I say the phasers in TNG, like it seems like you could go from like 1 to 10, and
Yeah,
10 was unalive, and 1 was stun, and it just I guess hurt worse
yeah.
along the way until you got vaporized. But yeah, here it's like you just throw this one switch forward, one switch back, right? Like
Yeah.
so.
So
Anywho,
and then
we get through
after
that.
that's when Kirk starts having
Man,
this
I know.
crisis.
Let me just say, I feel like I already know why we need to get. You want to definitely get to the scene in Pelias quarters.
Yes. Yes. Well, hold up. Well, hold up. We might not be on the same page with that, but
Oh, you don't think so?
I don't
Okay,
think so.
I know why. I
Okay,
know why I'm ready to talk about this thing.
so they go into Pelia's quarters, and she's got crap everywhere. Like how her store looked when in the
Yes,
episode that we will not name. How her
loved it.
store looked is exactly how her quarters look. So it was like all that
I'm
stuff that she had that she never either sold or
never
got rid of.
it
She just took it with her
for hundreds of years.
for hundreds of years, and she's excited because she's just like, we don't have, we can't do ship to ship, we can't do communications within the ship because of their deputy field or whatever they're putting out to
Yeah,
harm the. And she's just like, I have the solution. I am so happy that I hold on to all this crap. And then they go into her quarters and they pull out old school telephones, like
and an
old school
Atari.
telephone. Oh yeah, and the Atari. I forgot about that part. And they
Yeah,
used
I was
the Atari controllers too when they were trying to control the
that
ship.
made me. I love the comedic relief in this episode. This is a
Yeah,
tense episode. Without this storyline, without this C plot,
yeah.
them on phones with Atari controllers flying the Enterprise. I, I, I didn't think I was going to be able to get myself back together. To be honest with you,
Way too
that was
meta.
so hilarious
Way too
to
meta
me.
for you.
Yeah, it was meta, but I like meta jokes, so like it was just it was hilarious. There's another couple of meta jokes coming up that I liked as well, but
It
I
was kind of a meta overload in this episode. Not bad meta overload. Just like there was like a number of meta things that occurred throughout this. That was just
yeah
like made me smile.
Yeah, if meta stuff is not your thing, you might not like this
Yeah.
episode, but it is our thing, and it really only added to it.
It was a lot of meta stuff, and it was completely this was complete Memoberry type ish. Like, hey, look at who's on the Farragut. Hey, hey.
But you know what? They did it right because it all
Uh-huh.
serviced
Yes,
the
it did.
plot and the story arc that the characters were going. They didn't go out of their way to do it. It wasn't awkward to do it, and it
Yeah.
wasn't a plot
And it
point
was
to get
enforced.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, hey, on this journey that we're going with Kirk to become a leader, and with Pelia to hook up these old telephones, and with Pike and La'an to try to get the umbilical cut, some cool stuff's going to happen along the way, and that's how you do the
Yeah.
member berries properly.
And somebody will point out, will probably say somewhere it was just so happened coincidence that it just so happened to be the people that was going to be on his crew on the Enterprise. It's like, but if you're looking at this from a standpoint of you already know what the future looks like. Like if you think of this in just the succession of regular time flow, like this is showing a situation as to when he met. Well, not
Yeah.
he knew these people, but like when they were actually under his command.
Yeah, this just randomly happened to the characters. Like, if Spock takes the glowy crystal thing that we don't know what it is, that has to be hand delivered for whatever reason, and leaves the ship, then La'an is stuck there, right? And they figure
Yeah.
it out with her. So, like, and also for me, for that specific point, they kind of fix it for me later because they're all under the command of Robert April as an admiral, which means they're all in the same like sector or whatever, or like
Yeah.
same parts of unexplored space. So it actually makes sense now that they would keep running into each other. Pike, Kirk, all
That
these
would.
folks, the Star Driver, are like all under the
Yeah.
same dude.
That's true. And I never really looked at it like that because of how like TNG did the admirals. Like after a
Yeah,
while, you did start seeing the same admiral, like Nechayev, but then there were other times where you saw another different admiral or another different admiral. And you're just like, okay, who is Picard's true boss here?
yeah,
Because there is a chain of command type situation, even within the military. Like you are under this person's command. Like, yeah, if you came in contact with another admiral, they can tell you what to do, but ultimately you have to follow your commanding officer.
yeah, yeah. They, I guess maybe because it was '90s television, like maybe
Yeah.
they just didn't think it through, but they definitely make it make sense. Like an admiral controls or is in command of a certain amount of ships that are
Or a
in
certain
exploring a
sector.
certain sector, and so yeah, you can run into the same people all the time and get to know them, just like on your trips around the various banks in your division, right? Like so yeah, that just one throwaway line where Kirk's like, I don't know how I'm gonna explain to Admiral April coming back with no nacelles. Like I was like, oh, they all report to April. That's why they all know each other.
Yeah. But that was a good point out. I like that.
Thanks. The next plot point that I wrote is that Ortegas makes an interesting joke.
Oh, I think I might have missed this. Go ahead.
She picks up one of the old timey phones
Uh huh.
that Pelly is like talking about, like we're gonna hardwire it. Also, I thought it was funny how she had to explain like how phones work.
Work. Yeah. I mean, they have
Doctor
to
Shaft was
because
like,
a lot of people wouldn't. I mean, unless you're just into that stuff,
you would
learning
have
about
no
earlier
clue.
tech,
Yeah,
you would have no clue in that era.
absolutely
It's
not.
like talking to a kid now and being like, yeah, we used to have landline phones.
Oh man,
Or
that happened to me.
uh-huh.
Not even in my 40s here. This happened in my like early 30s. I said something to like a Gen Zer about 56K internet, and they're like, "What is
What is
that?"
that?
And
You
I was like,
dial
"Stop
up?
talking to me."
You never
Never heard that.
you
Never.
never like.
Never.
You got mail. Like nothing? Like nothing.
None of that. None of that. The internet coming in on CD to your mailbox.
Yeah. Yeah.
None of
Or
that. That is
you
foreign to
being
them.
online and somebody calls, which knocks you off the internet, and you better not be downloading.
Oh
Like
man.
all stuff we grew up with. Like it would seem weird in a futuristic show that they're explaining this, but it's just like, yeah, but they never got exposed to any of this unless they just had an interest in it. And they will always use
Yeah.
like, I think every, now that I'm thinking about it, I think every Star Trek had like some person on board that had like some type of, they learned about that century that we are in real life, about
Yeah.
like there just so happened to be a
Well, Tom
expert
Paris
of
being
that.
the
Yeah.
best example of that.
Tom Paris, Data. But Data is like, a wealth of knowledge. So it's just like he can go back and just like pull that. Yeah, they used to do this, da 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 da.
And it's Spock sometimes because Spock studies history and science at the same time.
Oh,
So,
interesting. I think
so
I'm gonna
what
go.
Ortega's,
I think I'm gonna go back
mm-hmm,
during rewatches to pay attention to all that. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. So Ortega's picks up one of the phones,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a little bit Star Trek After Dark, and says, "Oh, what is this? A personal massager?" And then looks at Mbenga with like kind of a wink and a nod.
Okay, I missed that.
Oh man, I was like, "Hey now, hey, easy, easy, easy."
Makes me wonder if
Oh
that was
man,
an ad lib or part of the script.
how did that get in?
Yeah,
How did that get in?
I mean,
But I guess
but
it kind of makes sense. This is pre-holodeck, so I mean, it's not like you can if you
yeah, but
single on the Enterprise,
a
you
lot of
can't book time
sexual
on the
jokes
holodeck.
are also made in TNG. If we're being honest,
There's a
so
scene between Crusher and Troy in some episode where
uh huh.
Crusher says something. Oh, I can't
That
repeat what she says actually.
Yeah, they're talking about a guy and who should date who.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like they've
and
been
like
together
how,
for a week, and it's like
pretty much how
something they
good
do.
is their nightlife.
Yeah, yeah, makes a certain part of her body do something where I'm like, how did they say that in the '90s? That is filthy.
Especially with the censors around that time. Like the censors were way tough back then than they were now.
Right? I'm like,
So
how did that happen? So Ortega's made a very interesting joke that I don't know. I clocked it as just like, wow, they have they're explorers as writers. They are pushing the boundaries.
so they get the communication
Uh,
set up, but then this isn't the next scene when Spock finally talks
yeah.
to
Next
Kirk.
scene is the way I wrote it is Spock and Kirk have a Spock and Kirk conversation.
Yeah, yeah,
And this is where Spock convinces him to stay leaning into his intuition, even though Kirk is 0 for 2 today. Like, he's made two decisions, basically, that could have gotten everyone unalive. And he's just like, and now, as a leader, I don't know what to listen to.
yeah. Because he's thinking back on that and thinking like, I could end up getting all of us unalived. So like, I mean, look at what I've done that led up to this point right now. Like, so he was
Yeah,
stuck. He was frozen.
yeah. Which in the corporate world for us is like, am I making a decision that's going to get us all fired? Which is
Yeah.
not as bad, but like, no one really wants to not know where their money, healthcare, and because yeah, if you're listening from Europe, we have this. Anywho,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna kick the soapbox away because I'm sure this episode's getting long. But so it's not like you don't feel the weight of decisions in the business world if you're trying
Yeah.
to be a good leader. It's just there's a lot of people out here who aren't trying to be good leaders. And yeah, Kirk is going through it, and Spock
Hmm.
helps him along.
Just to like get him to get that confidence back in like what he's doing, his decisions that he's making are not necessarily like awful. They just had certain consequences that we didn't know, that we were hoping didn't occur, basically.
Yeah. And the way I tend to talk about it with folks is really it's all you have as leaders is the process in which you make a decision. Like
Hmm.
go through a good process and make a good decision through that process. You can't really control what happens after that.
You
And that's
can't.
the joke behind like what I do with the ensigns or the new cap. Like it's like I can go through a great process to try to make sure everyone comes back from the away party, but I can't make sure everybody comes back from the away party
Exactly.
or their first mission. Like it's just I can do the best I can, and if it doesn't work out, I can learn from it. Maybe it was on me, maybe it was on something else, but yeah,
I
that's all it is.
I think of it
That's all
as
you got
like
as leaders.
I think of it like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. When you select that answer and you lock it in, and you're like final answer. Like
Yeah,
you're locking in the decision, this decision that we're making, final final answer, and you just roll with the consequences after that. Because there's nothing you can do about it after the fact that after you made that decision. Because if you continue to keep questioning your own decisions, you're bound to make more mistakes.
very much so. It's never going to get right if
Never.
you start trying to fix the last decision with the next decision
Mm-hmm.
and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And that's why I harp on it. You really, after having made several decisions and having to lead people and things like that, really all you can take comfort in is that I went through the best process I knew to go through at the
Mm-hmm.
time. Like just make sure you put everything into that and then roll on from there. You don't want to
Yeah.
look back at it and be like, "Yep, I cut corners. I didn't listen.
Yes.
I made all these mistakes." You want to just look back on it and be like, "I did everything I could
As
that
long
I
as you
knew I
know
could do."
that you made the sound decision. Like, I also
Yeah,
think about that episode on TNG where they got stuck in the time loop, and Data had an idea of the tractor beam, and Riker had the idea of depressurizing the the docking bay to like push them out of
yes,
the way of
hmm
that ship, and they were stuck in this time loop because of the decision that was made of using Data's idea instead of Riker's, and it wasn't until like Data sent the message to himself saying, "Oh
yeah.
no, Riker's idea is the better course of action." I
Well,
think that was
no,
uh huh. Oh
well,
no no
I'm
that
gonna up the stakes for you a
mhm.
little bit. If they weren't in a time loop, because they
Yeah
entered the time loop not knowing they were in it, Data would have gotten everybody murked.
yeah.
like, like, man,
So
because of the tractor beam.
I would also think that that would have been like that was another um, thing for Data, like for his character development and growing to understand like sometimes sometimes you don't always make the right decision.
Or like how we end the episodes with that quote.
Yeah,
Like and
that's
y'all will hear
life.
that later, so I won't report it. But yeah, that's life. And fortunately for them and their character lives that day, they were in a time loop, so they could run it
So they
back
were
until
able to
they got
get
it
out.
right.
Groundhog Day, everybody.
Exactly. But unfortunately, most of us, or I guess we wouldn't know if we ever ended up in a time loop. That
Yeah,
was
we
actually
wouldn't.
a thing in physics. That's weird to think about. Anyhow,
Well, so the
so I'm not going to think
scavengers.
about it.
So Kirk comes up with a good plan of using the
The
Faraday as
way I wrote
bait.
it, Kirk hops into Kirk mode and is
Yep.
crafting non-obvious solutions from the crew. He's using folks, getting ideas. He's rejected the two options, making a new option with his people. That's just what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that's the Kobayashi Maru type thing. Because those other two options were basically saying we're folding, and Kirk is
Yeah.
like, no, I think I'm a bluff.
Yep. And it ends up being a good plan. Before we get there, Pike and La'an decide to go hand to hand
Hmm.
with the dudes invading the ship. La'an takes one out. The other one's suit, we talked about this before the show, seems to still be working, but curiously, one of them gets Pike's phaser and doesn't use it.
Yeah, I was curious about that too because I was like, is this one of those TV tropes of the to keep this character from getting offed? We just take forever for them to shoot, or did it really just take forever for them to shoot?
So I had a thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, well, now that I know the ending, I know that their explanation for it is um,
Oh,
they're
that person
humans.
realizing that they're the same species.
Yeah, because he can see through Pike's helmet, Pike can't see through his helmet, and then this guy's second guessing
Mm-hmm.
whether he should off another human. And if this was Discovery, there'd be like a 5 episode arc around these people refining their humanity. But we don't do that.
You're
We don't
not
do that on this
wrong.
show.
You're not wrong. You know, now that Discovery has ended, we're pointing out more negatives on that show than what we did while it
I'm not
was
saying it's a
on.
negative. I'm saying that's what they would have done. It's a different
That's
decision.
I'm saying that's a we don't have to dwell on this for 5 episodes when there's only 10 episodes in a season. All right, like we
Oh,
we
that's funny.
we can come to a more quicker solution here to further the plot. But I'm sorry, keep going.
Well, and also, I think of Pike when he took the time crystal in Discovery, just to puff it up, and
Hmm.
he locked in his future. I did wonder for a second, like, oh, is this thing kicking in, and like Pike has to get to that moment? Because I've always interpreted that what he did with the time crystal is that if he gets to this moment, he's going to be in a beep chair. But anything could happen before, maybe he doesn't even get there because the ship blows up, or a dude caps him, like almost happened here. So I did wonder for a second, like, oh,
Well,
is this more of his future being locked in, or is this just well? And the episode answers it that like, no, this dude's a human, and second guess
okay, yeah,
unaliving another human. But like, yeah,
yeah, okay. So but able to get the second dude to run away, and then they
yeah,
start to tackle
Lon
the whole
absolutely caps
umbilical
the
cord.
one dude. I
Oh
think he
yeah, yeah.
vaporizes.
Oh yeah. Did he get vaporized, or was it just like he got a whole shot at him? I can't remember. You're
I
probably
don't
right that he
remember
probably
seeing
got
it. I don't
vaporized.
remember seeing his body on the floor, but maybe that was just a continuity error. In the we'd have to. That's the one nitpick I have about this episode is that this one hand-to-hand combat scene is so cut and chaotic that
Yeah.
it's actually kind of hard to follow exactly what happened. I had to watch it a couple of
Well,
times to be like,
for the reveal of them actually being humans at the end, I believe you're right that he got vaporized because it was the other person
okay,
when they ended up finding him passed out in the corridor. That's when they discovered that.
yep, yep. Would you like me to keep it moving? I feel like we
Yes.
must be getting close to. Okay,
Yes.
so this is what happens in every episode that we get to talk about leadership. I'm not sure if you noticed this. It just goes long. Leadership is like one of our favorite
It's one of
topics.
our it's my passion. I love
Yeah.
people. I love helping people to be developed, to be a better person of themselves. It's one of my passions. So yeah, I could talk about that for forever.
Yep. Yep. Uh, Pike and Lon decide to sour the milk.
Yeah,
Overt Star Trek reference that
yep.
Sci-Fi Fanatics points out. Pelia and the others start to use the phones to coordinate activating the thrusters, and Kirk launches his plan to draw the enemy in
Using the
and to
Farragut's
depower
plate.
itself. Yep. Using whatever made-up element or maybe real-life element that name I can't remember
That whole
that they
sequence
said.
was actually really, really good, especially when the Farragut was had to attack the ship, the big ship afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. That was I remember that plan starting to go into action that and I won't spoil my rating because you'll ask at the end.
Hmm.
That I decided I was going to give it a certain rating if they
Uh-huh.
stick the landing. And
Yeah,
they stuck
they
the
stuck the
landing. I was
landing.
like,
The I would have never thought about ejecting my nacelles and using that as a weapon, seeing as how I don't fully have all my weapons. to knock out their ship for a while.
Well, okay, wait a minute. Let's talk about this for a second. Because
Hmm.
I thought what happened was they ejected the nacelles, and then the two umbilicals that were chasing them chased at the nacelles because that was making it. That's what they thought
Hmm.
the element that they wanted was. And
Hmm.
then when they stuck the umbilicals into their own ship, they depowered it. Is that not what happened? Or am I tripping?
Oh, I thought they hit something. Like, yeah, the
Yeah.
umbilical started to go towards it, but I thought they hit something on that big ship that was
Yeah,
like
they
the
hit and
area where their
explode,
power
and then the
source.
umbilicals go right in, and then the ship starts to depower itself.
Okay, so that probably makes more sense then. However, that whole sequence though was still like I loved it. Like I want to go back and rewatch that.
I loved it too. I think that's probably like, I mean, what we give scores on is not perfection, and so the
Yeah.
episode wasn't perfect. The
Oh
action
yeah.
probably could have been cut and edited and explained a little bit better, so that we all were a little bit more on what we were doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I thought that scene was. But maybe then the sails exploded and they hit a sensitive area. I mean, to your point, once the episode is so good, you don't really care.
You don't really care. Yeah, it's really just a small, minute side point.
Yeah, absolutely. So when the ship depowers, they can communicate with the Enterprise,
Hmm.
and in Ortegas' words, they can start the jailbreak now. Using the phones, Ortega starts navigating out. Peli is like, "You're ramming against a wall
Yeah.
right now,"
Oh,
and
thanks for pointing that out. I didn't know that.
yeah, and Una very intelligently, and actually I got nervous for her for a second. Decides to use an airlock, going back to that episode you were talking
Yeah.
about,
Yeah,
to get the Enterprise back on course,
I got
back
nervous
off the wall.
too. I thought you probably thought the same thing I was thinking at that moment. That
She was about to make like some sacrifice play.
yeah.
Yeah. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not ready for this.
I'm not ready for this either. And so I was like, wait, where are we going with this? Where are we going? Oh, okay, she just depressurized the bay. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
she pulled a Riker. Got it. Okay. All right,
Yeah.
we're good.
This episode, they had, for some reason,
A lot of
like,
callbacks.
well, they had a lot of callbacks, but they also had a lot of value on us not knowing the whole plan exactly. And I
Yeah,
think it's because,
yeah,
and I think it's because they wanted some mystery for the end of the episode. Because if they told us the plan and how it works, and then the plan can't work that way. So I think
yes.
maybe that's why they did it. But
It's
there was
that
a lot
level
of
of
need
tension
to, yeah, yeah,
because you don't
exactly.
know exactly what they're gonna do next. That's gonna get them out of the situation, but they already have the plan in place.
Yep, yep. So Uhura's flying and getting them into uh, position because they're going to have to fight the enemy ship to cover the Enterprise's escape. And they have a hilarious exchange about how this is only the second time that Uhura has taken the con, which is true.
Yeah. And the funny thing with that was like, hold on, wait. Oh, who was at the con? Oh, who was flying the hell out of this ship now?
Well, also, I think this is actually, I can't remember where else we see her fly, but like, it's actually kind of like a joke that like Uhura like never takes the con. And she took the con in the original series, and I
Hmm.
think she flew maybe for a little bit in one of the episodes or in one of the movies. So it like literally is the second time
Is this,
in
is this one
canon
of
that
those?
she's flown the ship.
Is this one of those Beverly Crusher situations?
Yes,
Where
exactly.
Beverly Crusher takes the con and like, no,
Or
no,
Troy,
that was the
Troy, yeah,
was that Troy or
yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was Troy, and like she flew the hell out of the Enterprise, and everybody's just looking at her like, the hell, where did this come from?
Oh no, that was Crusher. You're
That
absolutely
was Crusher.
right.
Okay,
Oh no, Crusher took tactical in
yeah.
in that series that shall not be named, and she blew everything up, and everyone looked at her like.
Where did that come from? A lot
But
has
as we've established,
changed, Doctor.
wait, I challenge that because we already know Crusher's about that life. and
Oh
keep
yeah,
that thing
yeah, yeah,
on.
yeah. The episode where she went to the sun and was just like, yeah, we're gonna weaponize the sun on that ass. Yeah, uh, uh,
We all know she's about it. So like,
you're right. You're right. That whole do no harm goes out the window when you're effing around with her ship.
that's right. As Doc Holliday would say, her hypocrisy only goes so far.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so the Enterprise is trying to escape the umbilicals or chasing them, and Spock comes up with the idea to target something else and fires torpedoes into like deeper into the enemy vessel,
Yeah. And I
which
was like,
ends
oh,
up
are these torpedoes going where I think they're going? They're going. Yep, they're going exactly where I thought. That's exactly what I would have done in that situation.
smart.
It was
Kirk
real
is
smart. They have a lot of ships inside their hull that they're like still trying to like take apart and stuff. And one of them just happened to still be a Cleon ship, Cleon bird of prey that they could hit to make its engines explode and take out
yep,
the full ship.
and Kirk shows that he's learned his leadership lesson for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
When he's like, "What you got, Spock?" and that's what comes from him. Kirk didn't try
Mm-hmm.
to figure it out on his own.
He leaned on his people.
After that,
No, I was just saying he leaned on his people.
absolutely. After that, there's basically a sequence where they simultaneously realize that these are humans, and then we learn the history of after World War III, the best of humanity was sent into space, and ended up like this, and brings up kind of a storyline about, or a plot point really about like when do you lose your humanity after being out here for too long, which was also in Star Trek Beyond, oddly enough.
Yes.
Um, and so, yeah, the episode ends on that. We get another Pelia speech to end the episode, which is interesting. That's the second time they've done that this season. So they're
Without the
showing a little
comedic
tendencies here.
device at the end, though.
No comedic device. Yeah, it was all just kind of sad, which this is one thing I want to ask you about the episode. Were you as sad as they were that they had?
No, no, I was not. I was
Okay.
going to make that point. I get it. They were trying to lean heavy into the fact that like they are different. They have that humanity. So like any loss of life, regardless of what occurs, like I'm still going to not feel good about it. It's the same thing as at the end of Star Trek Deep Space Nine when they finally get on Cardassia and they've won the war and they're drinking to it, and Captain Cisco and the Admiral were just like, I'm sorry, I can't
Now
drink
that I totally get. Yeah.
with all this deaths around me. Like,
Yeah, and destruction and yeah.
yeah, like yeah, it was a victory, but at what cost? Like, so they were trying to lean into that with these characters, just to show like that human side is still there. They're not callous. They feel bad for
Yeah.
this occurring, but it was either them or the Enterprise and Farragut. So
Yeah, I think Pike gets it right, where it's just like it's not like they really gave us a choice.
yeah, and
You
granted,
know,
Pike said something like really big in his speech. Uh, having empathy for your adversaries is part of the job.
absolutely.
Which he was basically saying, like you're human. It's fine to feel that way about the loss of life, but also keep in mind that your duty is to your ship. Like
Yeah.
they were going to destroy your ship along with your crew. So your first duty is to your ship. Going back to that whole thing with what Riker was trying to teach Troy when she got going through the
When she had
promotion.
to unalive holographic Geordi.
Yes,
Poor holographic Geordi.
poor holographic Jordan.
Thank you. Steve Shives gave him that name. So I appreciate that.
So yeah, so Before we get into ratings, I do have to do one
Well,
thing
and
though.
oh, I want to say one thing before you do one thing. If that's
Okay.
okay. That ending Pike Kirk conversation, I thought was great. Like Kirk is
Mm-hmm.
really thinking about the weight of command versus what he just thought it was earlier in the episode when he talked to Spock. And then, of course, they call him Captain Kirk, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yep, yep.
Yeah. That was a good way of like ending that.
And
So
man, Skydance, another night for you, Skydance. Give us that Star Trek TOS
yeah. Redo. Yes.
redo
Yes.
that I think we all want now.
Yes.
Don't show. It's like that scene from Uncut Gems, which I haven't seen, but it's like a meme now where like Kevin Garnett's like, "Don't show me something if I can't have it. Why would you
It's
show me
kind of
something
like
if I can't have it?"
it's kind of like my rule in video games. Okay, the main character, don't show in a cutscene something the main character can do that I can't do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
It's like, I mean, our technology has like advanced enough to where I should be able to do the stuff that you're showing in this cutscene. So
Hmm.
it's one of those things. Oh, it pisses me off. But I do have to get into one thing though.
Okay.
There are 4 lights!
I know. We've been glowing about this episode for the past 2 hours. What could you be upset about? Y'all
Right.
want to know what I'm upset about? This episode was
I'm
too
on it.
short. I need it to be longer, okay? All right. I was enjoying every single minute of this episode, rewinding because I'm missing stuff because, like, I'm really enjoying this. And then when it ended, I was like, oh, it ended. We couldn't get 10 more
Brilliant.
minutes. We could
Brilliant.
just 10 more minutes. Like we could have got more. But granted, like it probably if they would have added 10 more minutes, my score would have probably dropped because they probably would have added something mundane. So
That is like it's like the worst thing about like when you're going through entertainment that you like. Like if it goes too long, you know you're not gonna like it. But whenever it ends when it's good, it's like I wanted some more
I
though.
wanted some
But like
more.
the creatives are probably like, but if I gave you more, you're not gonna like it. Like we've hit the peak here. It was just before you wanted
They
it.
they stuck the landing
What it did.
basically. Like, and they did a good job sticking the landing. They had a lot of a lot of Easter egg stuff that they sprinkled in, a lot of meta commentary, a lot of throwback from TOS that they just like giving you fan service, the member berries there, and I know I am curious to know how Steve Chives felt about the whole memberberry fan service stuff
Because
because
he
he
hates
normally
that
hates
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
But I personally feel that they actually did a good job of it. They balanced it well.
Well, it's
Just
like I
to,
said earlier. Go ahead.
because it's a prequel, you kind of have to put in stuff like that just to show, like, look, this is why this ultimately happens in the future. Because a
Yeah.
lot of stuff was not
The
explained. Go ahead.
the member berries, like we were talking about a little bit ago, didn't take away anything from what was
It
happening.
didn't.
The character development in the
It didn't.
episode, like
It wasn't like it
stuff
was
happened.
forced. It wasn't
Yeah,
slow. It didn't slow down the episode. Yeah.
like of course Spock is going to talk to Kirk. Not only is he like he makes a good argument for why he should, but
Yeah.
he's the senior officer there.
Yeah.
Like, why would he send Chapel, Scotty, or her to go talk to Kirk? He has no reason to do that.
True.
So like the member berries work there. Like it just made sense with the with where everyone was at. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think you're kind of channeling it to join you in your four lights. My need for this group to give me some TOS episodes
Yes.
with these
Yes.
actors and this production budget and things like that. Like it
It's
would be
pretty
really
much.
cool.
It's pretty much how you felt after Discovery season 2. Give me more
Yes.
of this crew, this Captain Pike crew of the Enterprise. I need more of this. And then we got Strange New Worlds, which is,
Yeah.
in my humble opinion, the best modern Star Trek that we have received.
Yeah, I haven't given it the crown for off of DS9's head, but
I know we
it's
still got
good.
2 more years of it. I know things can happen, but I am feeling like yes, we got tomorrow. I know I named it. Like there are going to be times where the writers miss the mark. I mean, but like just like what we were talking about earlier, mistakes are made. It's how you make up for those mistakes. Like so, the series overall, how was it? And I feel like that they're going to stick the landing by the end of season 5, and we're just going to be like, well done,
Yeah,
well done.
I would be shocked if I would be just like I was shocked by tomorrow. I would be shocked if this doesn't wrap up in season 5. You're gonna want more, of
Mm-hmm.
course, like you're just describing here with this episode, but it's gonna be like, you know what, this actually did wrap up at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was good.
So, with that being said, what do you give this episode?
Man, I don't even know if I have to just 10. It's a 10 out of 10. I went back and looked at the other episodes I gave 10 to make
Uh
sure
huh.
that I didn't, because I was definitely like, I'm not going to rank it above Ad Astra per Aspera. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's just never going to happen. And I saw I gave that a 10. I gave the musical episode a 10. There was another episode I gave a 10. Whenever I leave an episode and I'm like, I want to watch this again, and when I'm bored one day next summer, because football's almost back, so I'm almost out of my time to just be bored.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm bored one day next summer, I just want to throw on some random Star Trek. Like this is one of those episodes, and that's my line for 10. Like I could just watch this episode again and again and again. 10, and it
Yeah.
clears that bar easily. Is it perfect? No, there's stuff in here that's like,
Oh yeah, we could pick
yeah,
apart a lot of things if we
yeah,
were
we
if we
can,
wanted to be nitpicky.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I won't belabor it because I'm sure this episode review is long enough. But yeah, 10.
Well, so my score for this episode, for episode 6, season 3 of Strange New World, the Sellout. Darn it, the how you pronounce it
Spock said
again?
it for you
So,
twice.
I know,
Spock said it
and I
twice.
and I still and I still did not stick the landing. How do you say that darn word? The
Salat.
the Salat
Salat.
who ate its tail. I'm
You
give
basically have to ignore the H.
I
Is
do. I
is
do.
how you get through it. Hmm.
I give this a 10 out of 10 across the board. This is exactly what I was saying, like with previous episode, like the previous episode with Nurse Gamble, R.I.P. Um,
Maybe.
what R.I.P. But
Maybe.
like I gave that one a 9.5 out of 10, mainly because I was putting it up against Ad Aspa per Aspera. Like, was that episode on par with that? And I could clearly state it was great, but no, not to the same level. This episode, however, I could definitely say was to the level of that episode. Like, to not give it a
Hmm.
10 would be very disingenuous. So, like, no notes. Mwah, perfect episode. I do wish it was longer, but like I said, I feel like if they made it longer, then they would not have stuck the landing like they did.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, with that, this concludes our review for episode 6, season 3 of Strange New Worlds. Anything you want to leave the audience with, Patrick?
Nah, I just hope everyone enjoyed the episode. Like this has been we both gave it 10, so it's the best episode of season 3 so far. And
So far,
yeah, I'm excited to see what the rest of the episodes look like. I'm not gonna say there won't be a bad episode because that's foolishness.
that's
Why would I
foolish.
say that?
Yes, yes.
But
No
I'm
one,
excited to
no
see where
one
the
would
rest of the
ever
season goes.
say after watching a great episode that there's no way that they could have a bad episode. Like no one in existence has ever said that.
See, the key thing is that even after you're a leader, even after you're a captain, you still make mistakes. You learn from them. That's all. You learn from those two. The mistakes don't stop.
I like
once you
the
become a
tie in
leader.
there. I like, well done, well done.
No problem.
Well done. See, you learn from your mistake there. See, well done.
There, yeah, absolutely. I like the way there's now story arcs for us in our
Yes,
reviews.
there are.
And episodes.
Well, we thank y'all for joining us once again to the Unpopular Black Gamer. Join us again next week for the next episode of Strange New Worlds. We are slowly approaching the NFL season, and me and Patrick are big NFL fans, so we're probably going to have a different day that we do these live streams. So, but we'll talk that out amongst the two of us, and we will let the audience know. But as always, we end our episodes with that wonderful quote from Jean-Luc Picard.
It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life.
Thank y'all for joining us today. Have a wonderful and beautiful week.